Yo, people, welcome to the To Be Honest podcast, the TBH podcast. We're in the house and we got a name. What do you mean it's different out here now, bro? Different, drinking different waters and everything, mate. It's all changed, bro. A new name.
Oh my
Obviously, it's your boy Shaq in the house with, Michael and Freddie in the house as well. No special guest today. No new friends.
No new friends.
As promised today, we're going to talk a bit about our drama school. But first off, how we doing, boys? How we feeling?
Good, you know.
All good, man.
Enjoying that nice weather and stuff, you know.
All right, let's talk about. So we're actors, obviously. I think we all went to drama school, didn't it? Fred, did you go to drama school?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I went CPA. It's all shut now.
Oh, right. The thing got shut down.
It got shut down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Michael, obviously, you went Mount View.
Yeah, I went to Mount View.
Yeah, and I went GSA. I went GSA. I went Guildford.
The one, yeah.
Can you tell? You're the Guildford boy, you know that. I could tell he was a GSA boy from the minute I met him. I was like, yeah, GSA 100.
Isn't it? Because I just lost all my blackness was gone at that point. I had no blackness left. I just got half my blackness back from hairspray. They tried to take that from me, man. No, I'm joking. But we wanted to talk a bit about drama school, obviously, because we all went there, and there was a lot of things going on recently, especially with Black Lives Matter, talking about what happened was that a lot of drama schools kind of came out and was using their posts, their platforms to post little words of support to the movement, and I think at least 99% of them were met with alumni kind of saying, well, it's all well and good you guys saying it now and providing us a bit of lip service. The difference is when we went to school, we went through a lot and nothing was done. Like we were talking earlier about Gavin Henderson, who was the head of Royal Central, and he ended up retiring, standing down. That's what they say. And by the way, when people say standing down, that's literally the board saying to them, if you don't stand down, we're gonna have to fire you. So let's let you leave with your head held high. Right.
Just collect your retirement fund and go, basically.
But
it was. And for those who don't know, Central the drama school as well.
Central's a drama school. And basically this brother said, I was looking at an article, and it says that Henderson suggested that introducing quotas to boost the numbers of Black, Asian, and ethnic minority students might reduce the quality of student intake. That's what this man said.
Wow.
And I think that ended up with about 250 students and pupils did a walkout. And then I think he actually said he was going to retire last year. He said he was retiring in a year's time. I think it got pushed earlier because of the lockdown and stuff. But that's just one example of what students at a certain drama school went through. And those alumni kind of did allude to that during the whole speech of like, why are you making these comments about Black Lives Matter when your Black students don't matter to you at all? I just kind of wanted to touch base on how everyone found their experience at drama school.
Well, drama school, yeah. So I went CPA. It stands for Collins Performing Arts, and that was based in Romford in Essex. And I think there was like two of us at the time in my year. One that's my best friend now, actually. And I remember having a singing assessment, and my feedback, and I will slam this guy's name now. His name is Gavin James, the waste man. Anyway, he's a full-on waste man.
That's why we're here, bro.
My feedback was on my sheet. Honestly, he said, I think it was something along the lines of basically decent singing, but try not to use gun fingers. My man said gun fingers on my feedback. The funny thing is, he said the same feedback to my friend as well.
Oh my days.
Who was Black. And I was just like, gun fingers? I know I don't sing with gun fingers. For one, I wouldn't have the career that I have now if I was singing. Mad. Can you imagine singing on the street where you live? Like, it doesn't matter. And I remember challenging this guy. I remember saying like, I don't think that's right. What do you mean by gun fingers? I just said to him, what do you mean by gun fingers? And his face went a bit red, and it was kind of like, oh, you're the problem. You know, you got a chip on your shoulder, sort of. So I just kept quiet. So these are the things that some of us go through, do you know what I mean, in drama school. And that was ages ago, do you know what I mean? So if you think about it, I think I left there like 10 years ago now when I deep it. So it's a bit crazy. Yeah, that's the sort of things I kind of went through, really.
Yeah. What about you, Mike, bruv?
Mount View was. Do you know what? Yeah, Mount View was a madness for me. I can't even lie. So like Fred, I was the only black person in my class. There was only 16 of us in my acting musicianship class. I was the only black guy there, but then there were some black people in on the MT course. There was, I think, 3 on the MT course, and there was actually quite a lot more on the acting course. So Mount View had acting, MT, and acting musicianship. But obviously we didn't integrate those courses in it. We just stayed within our group. So I got up there and I was just like, okay, cool. Automatically I have that mindset of, I think without even realizing it, subconsciously you're gonna be like, I need to fit in. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. And I already have preconceptions of what it's gonna be like. You know, when you get into a drama school and then you get added to the Facebook group or WhatsApp group, and everyone's like, who's starting in September?
Fucking hell. Oi, that is the deadest part of drama school.
So I'm scrolling through this group here, I'm thinking, cool. And we make judgments regardless, innit? I'm thinking, I'm reading the profiles and like, seeing where people are from, like any mutual friends or whatever. And I had my mindset going in there like, okay, cool, this is gonna be hard. So when I got into second year, the new first years, there was a bit more black people. There was a coming into the school, which made me so happy. I started chilling with the first years and say, okay, cool, do you know what I mean? Like, it got to the point, yeah, where like, I had a nickname, which was like Black to Muso, innit? Because I was in the acting music course. I was the first ever black acting musician at Mount View on that course, innit? Like, there hadn't been one prior. And someone let me know that, and I was like, raw, that's mad. Like, I just didn't even think about it too tough. But like I said, as I was going through the years, I met people in my class that were just so cool. I became more confident in being myself. The more people I saw that came into Mount View looking like me and spoke like me, there were people in the year above me as well that were black as well, and they were doing well. And Mount View have quite a few black alumni as well. And it was a bit hit and miss because I felt individually a bit isolated, but in other year groups and other classes, there were enough of us for me to feel like I'm not the only one. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
Nah, mate. Oi, let me tell you about Guildford, yeah. Right, yeah. First off, we're in Guildford anyway. So like, it's a generally very white, very middle class kind of part of the country. So the demographic, it will always kind of reflect that because of that reason. But so yeah, I went GSA, and in my year there was a few. I think there was 3 off the top of my head. Sorry if I forget you. I think there was 4 black people on the acting course. I'm on the MT course. There was me. It's me, my friend Louise, my friend Dylan, and my friend Maya. Maya and Dylan are mixed race, and me and Louise were the 2 only like black boy and girl in the class. And then a few. There was like, that was kind of like that group of people, and then there was I think 2 or 3 in the year above, like maybe 4 or 5 in the year above, and then it's almost like that. Them 2 years, they went, oh god, we got a lot of black people here, man. We better cut this shit out, because it got the number got fewer and fewer. I think I went to watch the third years now. They'd be 2 years below me. There was one mixed race girl in that year. What we found really hard at GSA was the fact that there was no. And I do think this is the case for a lot of drama schools. It's not the curriculum and the things that you learn are not ever catered towards you. It only works for you if it happens to work for you, and if it doesn't work for you, well, sorry. For example, we do voice classes, do accents and stuff. Tell you the accents I learned were obviously Standard English, RP, General American, Italian American, Jewish American. There was Southern American, but it depended on the side you went. So there was like Southern Belle, and then there was the Southern Twang, whatever. I can't remember the exact things of it. But there was like no like acknowledgement of any other accents coming from like people that weren't white characters. We kind of realized that there was never going to be, because we used to go to the heads and the seniors of the senior staff members and be like, we need something that like integrates everyone. We need classes in the curriculum to change so we can integrate everyone. And the response was always like, yeah, we hear you, but nothing's changing. So 2 boys in the year above me, Corey and Alyssa, they decided to like, I think Corey at the time, because he was a bit more involved with the heads of years and stuff. They decided, well, we're going to take it into our own hands. And after school on, I think it was Wednesdays, they got a space in the drama school, and they literally said, we're going to do something for Afro-Caribbean people, African people. Come here, listen, we're going to do black playwrights, black accents, black dances, black songs. That was originally called the Afro-Caribbean Society. And then I think the year after, we decided that, like, because there were a lot of people that wanted to come just to learn, we're like, well, it's not like confined just to black people anyway. And what happened then was that, like, a lot of students at the time went fully all lives matter on us and was pissed off that we were doing something for us. So we went, well, cool. Well, we're not telling you you're not allowed to go. It's open for everyone. It's just called the Afro-Caribbean Society because that's what we're studying.
Yeah.
Changed the name to Together We See. And I remember us doing a dance for the university that we were attached to. GSA is attached to the University of Surrey, and we did a dance for I think it was some Independence Day, I think it was, and we did an African dance, like a traditional African dance for them. I remember them going back to the school and like, oh, these people are so great, and the way they were embracing us, you know. That's how they move, you know. Yeah, they were embracing us. The school was like, oh yeah, we love these lot. They're so great. But you weren't supporting nothing at the time. Man. You weren't helping us with it. So I remember. So during this whole thing now, fast forward to present day, and GSA drop a post saying Black Lives Matter. And when I say they drop a post, they literally copy and paste a picture from fucking Google Images and put Black Lives Matter up. And that kind of peed me off. And I'm looking down at the comments and I'm seeing that, like, there's students that are like on, you know, the fake accounts so they can put a little different picture on it and they can change their names. And they're saying, where was this when one of your students was being called an N-word by a member of another student, and the member of staff told her to grow up and stop being weak. So I went, nah, fuck that. So I must have just gone ham on the school, and ended up just opening conversation with them lot. And my friend Louise had written a dissertation about how to make schools more integrated and stuff. And now she's sent that to so many different drama schools, loads of different schools, and listening to it and stuff. So yeah, stuff is changing. But
I always used to think like, oh man, wish I went to Erdang or something, or wish I went somewhere that had a bit more diversity or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But when I thought that was just me, as I started going through drama school, I realised that was a lot of other places as well, like GSA. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or like CPA, for example. And the thing about Mount View is, for example, during this period of time, Mount View have sent out, I've received 2 emails from Mount View Student Services about Black Lives Matter and what they plan to implement and their views on the whole thing from the student services. And I got it, and like you said, I got it and I received it, and I was like, well, this is nice, but
yeah,
I graduated
it's
now.
all words.
I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing though as well. It's fully lip service until things are done. And I think they don't understand that we know that that's what you're doing. Another question I was going to ask, how many, I don't know if anyone else experienced this. I feel like it happens to a lot of people, but did you ever find when you were at drama school, and I don't really want to come for the students so much because I think there's a lot of things that they don't really, kids are stupid as well, like, especially like around that age, they think they know everything, and like, obviously I'm like 2 years older than that in terms of 30 and I'm 23, but it's just, did you ever find it that like whenever an opportunity was given to you or you got something, it was never down to your talent according to the students, it was always down to the fact that you're black, and black was the cool thing to be at the time? Everything I did.
Listen, I've got missed out opportunities like that, so I can't even say whether or not it was even that. I can give you an example. We were doing a show, I think it was my 2nd year now. I was Babes in Arms. And I remember there was me, my friend Pierre, there was a black girl called Laura, and a mixed race girl called Daniela. So there was 4 of us. So I remember going into the show, not knowing anything about Babes, and I was doing a bit of research. I remember there was 2 brothers. There was 2 famous tap brothers. In real life, 2 American tap brothers who, I think it was Ivan and Ivor, I think their characters were called in Babies in Arms. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm set, I've got this. You know what I mean? It's me and I was like, I want a strong tap. I thought, they can change it, maybe jazz. So I thought, I got this. I went in there now, and then went to obviously get my sheet music, and they were like, oh yeah, Fred, don't worry about auditioning. We've decided what we're going to do is we're going to make you guys a family instead. So you don't have to worry about auditioning. And I'm there like, huh? this ain't the storyline. The storyline is two black brothers. Obviously, it was during the minstrel time. This is like during a racist time in America. This is like the minstrel times, setting like probably the 19 whatever. So I remember thinking, so I can't audition. So anyway, the mixed race girl Daniela goes in there now, and she auditions. Her voice is sick. Yeah, she is amazing. But they can't give this girl the lead because she's mixed race. Yeah,
the family.
So they thought, you know what? Let's screw Fred over. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give her a solo that's not even in the musical. They gave her a solo that wasn't even in it. Yeah, and they made us a black family. So can you imagine none of us able to audition because it was just horrible? And
because they decided already.
They already decided. There's directors that were on the panel that are working now. I'm not going to name them. Do you know what I mean? They know who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to name them, but they're working right now. And I'm thinking, I remember my boy went in there and he was like, they were uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think, how do people get away with that? I don't know. That's the shit that we go through. Do you know what I mean?
In drama schools, if you guys are watching, you don't know how it goes. In third year, you that's the year you're open to industry professionals. You do panel days where you see casting directors and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I just remember being told so many times by so many different people, like, oh, you'll be fine, you'll get an agent. Like, do you mean?
What do you? Oh my god!
Do you mean like people love BAME stuff nowadays? And like, I'm like,
you're like token, innit?
A little part of me was like, that's cool, because you know, if BAME, even though I don't like that phrase, but if BAME is what is in nowadays, then fair enough. Whatever, I get more opportunities, whatever in it. That's nothing to do with me. But the fact that I could potentially be in a position of advantage, not based on my talent or my ability, but based on my skin color, even if it is positive, shouldn't run. Do you know what I mean? So then I got to a thing where I was like, you know what? I felt like I then had to be extra good. Do you know what I mean? To then prove that, no, it's not just because I'm the only black guy in my year. It's just like, because I'm actually good at what I do. Do you know what I mean? So
it's deeper, exactly. And I think I think all these people need to understand that, first off, being black, Asian, mixed or otherwise is not it's not a fad. It's not a trend. It's not something for Twitter. It's not something that people want to talk about. Oh, it's really cool that they're different looking than you. It's these are just normal people. And the second thing is the fact that when you really look at the situation that black performers are in, I'm going to just keep talking about black people because I can't speak on anyone else's experience. But the fact of the matter is, there are so many unbelievably talented black actors. So irregardless of your idea of, oh, it's all right, you'll work, it's not true, because there aren't that many shows for black people. I'm being quite generous now, saying 90 spots in the West End for black people. And that's me going...
And they use the same people anyway.
Exactly.
Normally, isn't it? They normally use the same. There's this bubble of black actors that they like to use.
Exactly.
I've been lucky. It took me ages. From when I finished, think about it, like 10 years ago, I went to college. And I was out in the industry, not getting any work. And then I decided to go and do a degree. So I went to Colchester Institute. And then I came out. And then it took me like, I think, a year and a half just to get my first job. And that was on Kinky Boots. A year and a half. So it's tough out there. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to break that glass ceiling.
It's hard, just to get in there. Do you know what I mean? Give people, so people think, oh, it's this BAME trend that's going on, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you hear it all the time. I've seen things on Twitter, like well-known casting directors have come out, or agents have gone to their members, gone to their what do you call it, people on their books and said, you're not getting any work because it's BAME's in. It's like, what? I'm sorry.
You know what? I think, you know what? I want to say, I don't think there's anything, just putting it out there, I don't think there's anything wrong in looking for a particular type of actor for a particular role. That's cool, isn't it? If you've got, if you're doing Parade and you need someone to play, what's the black character in Parade called?
What's his name?
Is it Jim Sutton?
Jimmy Sutton, yeah, I think it is. Jimmy Sutton.
But if you have a black character in a show, and you put out a breakdown on Spotlight, you put down a breakdown on Facebook or whatever, you need an actor of that colour, and you use the word BAME, then that is cool, innit? I don't think that in itself is a negative or derogatory thing. What I think makes it go left is when people start using that as an excuse, like, oh, do you know what? We, like, for example, what other white actors saying, oh, we can't get jobs because people are only looking for.
Even a BAME thing is annoying. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's annoying.
It just means other.
Realistically, there we go. Because they could say, oh, we ticked that box. We've got BAME actors. That doesn't mean it's got to be a black person in the show. It could be an Asian person. It could be, do you know what I mean? A mixed race. Do you know what I mean? So just because they're saying BAME doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually even casting people like us in the show. And that's what people need to understand that as well. Where if we're up for a black role, that is clearly for a black person and they're saying BAME, an Asian person can get that, or whoever can get that. So people need to understand that. So even though, you know, they're saying BAME's trending or whatever at the moment, we're not just against ourselves. We're not up against each other. We're up against so many others. Whereas white people are just up against themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Also, I feel like there's always like there's a really small, even though it feels like there's a lot of black actors, like when we go to auditions, we see people that we know, but the fact that we can go to auditions and I think 9 times out of 10, every time I go to an audition, I will see someone I know. Like the pool of I don't want to say BAME, but the pool of ethnic minority actors is so small that, like you said, Fred, when you're trying to break that glass ceiling and like get into that industry and get that first West End gig or get that first tour, or get that first play, because it is so small, it's so hard. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the complete opposite. People are like, oh, you're more likely to work because, and in my head, it's like, not really.
That's what I'm saying.
Really.
That's what I was saying.
Do you know what I mean?
Because there's so few of us and everyone's so talented, it's not as easy as you lot think it is. Like, there's not, people aren't getting like, especially when you're an ethnic actor, they're not just taking anyone because they're pretty. You have to be sick, because that's just the bottom line for everyone. Because you look at the standards of the people that they can get in, a Cedric Neal, a Dex Lee, Idris Carbo, all these people, bro. This is proper talented people. What I wish is that the producers weren't, as a result, so quick to just go for the same people every time, because I do think where we're starting to, and this is not against these people at all. Like, a lot of these people, like, we all know quite personally as well. Like, I've got a lot of friends that are in this echelon of people that get booked kind of every day, every week. But it's not, and it's not their fault that they've had an amazing,
incredibly talented.
It's kind of down to the producers to kind of try and go, let's try and do something that's not just about getting bums on seats. I'm trying to find a way of not making it sound like I'm cussing these people, but I just don't want them. I think like they need to figure out a way of trying to bring in more talent and nurturing more talent, instead of just playing the safe option, which is get someone who we all know is amazing and will get people in. But like, you know, it's as you say again, it's a business, it's an industry. So
yeah, and you know, I think it's a fine line, because for me, when I graduated, I had like a couple of months off from drama school, and I went into Motown UK 12 Review Track. And as a graduate, being around people like Ed Barua, who played our lead character, our leading man, being around people like you, for example, who'd been in Hairspray, being around people like Spencer and Perry, being around people that had done it before, as a graduate, for me, was just incredible, because I was like, cool, do you know what? Now I'm just soaking up all this knowledge, soaking up the etiquette, soaking up the experience, do you know what I mean? Soaking up all the knowledge. But at the same time, it shouldn't be a thing where it's always the same people with the same experience and the knowledge that are just getting cast. Yeah. And like you said, it's nothing against those people, because they are incredibly talented. And like you said, I've got a lot of friends and I've got so much love for all those kind of people. But it would be great to see opportunities given to the lesser known names to then get them to that point. Do you know what I mean? So for the next set of graduates to come out.
They're a lot more, I find the producers are a lot more likely to do that on their white actors, like a Sam Tutty, like a Jack Yarrow, who walked into lead roles straight out of drama school. It's a shame that that's not happening for the black actors that are coming out of drama school. They're not finding, it's not easy for them to just walk into a job, unless there's like, in my situation, I feel like when I got Seaweed in Hairspray, it was just very lucky that Leighton Williams had happened to take another job prior to them extending. Do you know what I mean? It's little things like that, and I just happened to be the closer to his size that my costume wouldn't need too much of a change. So like, it's like, I wish that people were taking a chance on these young graduates, these black young graduates, a bit more often. I mean, you have a few like Danielle Fiamanga, who was the year below me at GSA, who's just gone on to do like amazing things, and she's super talented. But I don't want to go on about it too long, because I don't want us to sound like come off spiteful and shit, because that's the first thing that people will just be like hating, because you know what people are like. But producers, I feel like you need to pay a bit more attention to the underdogs a bit more.
We're talking, so it's obviously gone on from the drama school and stuff. What are your guys' views on obviously these actors stepping down, like in terms of like, you know, like Mike Henry, from Family Guy. 20 years, bro. 20 years.
Bro, it's clout. It's clout.
That broke my heart.
Bro, it's fake clout, bro. It's all fake bullshit, bro. And I'll tell you why it's fake bullshit. These actors, yeah, they're not... It's not, even if it's not bullshit, they're not really thinking it through on what they're doing. So Mike Henry and I think another actress who's in, I think, Big Mouth on Netflix, they both stood down from their roles as, I think the lady played a mixed race girl.
And Hank Azaria as well. Hank Azaria.
Yeah, and Hank Azaria, who played Apu from The Simpsons, the Indian man. And Mike Henry, who plays Cleveland Brown. Not Brown. They all stepped down from their roles because they and quote believe that black characters should be played by black actors, which I do agree with to a certain extent, but we're talking about voice right now. So what I'm saying is, it's not about the fact, the reason people are angry is not because that you're doing this role and you're white and you can't do a black voice or a black accent. The people are angry because black actors are not getting the same look in that all these white actors are getting. So if you've got this role, we're not asking you to step down from it. We don't care that you've got it. It's up to the cast and directors and the producers to be bringing in more black people in order for them to at least get a crack of the whip. I think the issue stems with, for me, is just the fact that black people and ethnic people want to get given more of a look in for roles that are to do with that said character being from certain places. Like Rick and Morty is flooded with different like roles. I think there's a character called Dr. Wong in one episode who was played by Sigourney Weaver, and like she was and like I'm pretty sure she's definitely like Chinese in the show. Their response was, we don't see color. No, what happened was you had an Asian character, you had the opportunity to get Sigourney Weaver on your show, so you took it and thought, fuck it, it doesn't matter. That's where the problem is. It's a deeper issue than just... Yeah, it's deeper than that.
My problem is with the Hank Azaria thing. You're playing Apu, yeah? You're probably doing the native Indian accent, right? That's wrong. So my thing is, I put a tweet out and I said, how do you know what? I don't even mind people doing voiceover acting, because it's voiceover acting, like you said. I agree with Shaq in that sense. It's voiceover, so do you know what I mean? That's the art of acting, right? Like you can't, you're portraying a character like it's just a voice. But then when I deep it, it is kind of modern day blackface, because black people ain't get the opportunity. If it was like an RP white character, a black person wouldn't even dare get looking, because we're not seen as educated. We're not seen as educated. That's why you don't see black people playing Scar in Lion King. Why isn't a black person playing Scar? Because Scar's got an RP accent. That's wrong. It's Lion King, do you know what I mean? Meant to say in Africa. It's wrong. So when I look at it like that, if Hank Azaria playing Apu, I'm like, that's so wrong, because it should be an Asian guy playing that, because he can, obviously does the accent okay, but to an Asian person, it's offensive. And he stepped down in January, right? So he stepped down before this whole thing kicked off. But then that's after years of getting criticism and people saying you shouldn't be doing it. It's not the actor's fault, don't get me wrong. But like going back to Mike Henry, you've done 20 years. You collected that coin, bro. You collected that 20 years of cash, You denied a black person playing that role, and now you want to say, oh, I think it's only right. That's not genuine to me. Because black people ain't asking you to step down. Black people are asking for equality. So I see, it's like, this world's gone mad. You're now stepping down from playing these roles when people are not asking that. People are saying, treat us the same, give us the same opportunities, and that's what we're.
And that's the thing. You're exactly right. Sorry, I'll let you speak. Give me 5 seconds.
Go for it, brother.
I think you're absolutely right. It's the fact that there's certain white roles that there is there's white roles in general that there is no chance that black people get a look in for. And if that was the case, then there'll be no issue. But the fact is, you're not letting us look at the black. You're not letting us look at the black roles. You're not giving us looking for the white roles. So what? So we just go home. There we go. So exactly. Sorry, Marco, I'll cut you though.
No, it's all good, bro. I think with voiceover acting, my opinion has always been, if you're an actor and you do good accents, like I've got a mate called Joe. Shout out Joe Mason, that boy can do accents for days, bro. From Scottish to flipping French. I mean, like all sorts of crazy stuff. But my opinion on voiceover acting is like, if you're an actor and you can do a particular accent very well, and you've been cast, let's say you're Mike Henry, you've been cast as Cleveland Brown, fair enough, innit? Do your job, that's cool. But like you said, number one, no one's asking you to step down. No one ever asked you to step down. Number two, what we're asking is, like you said, is that when Seth MacFarlane is writing that show and you've gone cool character breakdown, and an average middle-aged man, African American, who's going to cast in it, your thought process should automatically go to an African American or somebody that fits that description. In my head, anyway. Like if I'm writing an animation like a cartoon or something, and I'm writing the characters out, and I've got a Chinese character, I'm not gonna like automatically think, okay, cool. Who like? Let's say I knew you, Shaq, here, and you could do a bad boy Chinese accent. Yeah, I'm sorry, I love you, bro, but I'm not getting you to do a Chinese accent.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not.
Exactly.
Like, there's someone out there that I'm pretty sure doesn't need to put on an accent because they are Chinese.
Do you know what? Yeah, the thing that makes me feel weird about Mike Henry as well is because I've always thought that the accent was shit on purpose.
What, Cleveland?
I thought it was shit on purpose, bro. So I don't really understand. I thought the whole point was give him a white actor to do a shit black voice. But maybe I was wrong this whole time. In 20 years, they thinking, oh, this guy really sounds like Jelroy from round the corner, bro. They really thought he sounded like a Winston, bro.
Oh, right.
They really thought man sounded like a
Winston.
Nah,
that's
bro.
So funny.
What are you guys' thoughts on, like, obviously Little Britain, Keith Lemon? Because I didn't think, do you know what? Back in the day, I used to watch Keith Lemon. I used to crack up. I used to
Keith Lemon is funny, isn't it? Whether his real name is, he's funny. Like Keith Lemon as an individual, I found him hilarious. I used to watch that show.
He's funny, yeah.
Whenever it is on. Little Britain, Come Fly With Me. All them things there, yeah. I actually thought was, bro.
Precious.
I used to come back in the day, bro.
We got no cups. We got no coffee. Bro, I think that stuff was hilarious, bro. But like you said, that was the point in time where no one spoke about it. It was just so normalized. Where it was like, oh, you know, well, they're making us laugh. You know, at least they're bringing entertainment to the television. It was never a thing. Like, I remember, for example, on EastEnders, yeah, when you have Patrick Truman, for example, he was that one solid black character that was there for time. And everyone had to rate man like Patrick because, you know, he was holding it down, innit? Do you know what I mean? We hold it down when everybody
when it dropped on that to drop. Do you know what it is? It's so tricky with Little Britain.
Oh, man.
Because, like,
I used to love it, innit? I feel like I
grow up loving it. But, you know, like, when you think about it, yeah, you're right. It's not, the things that were done shouldn't have been done. But then you go, it's comedy as well. That's the thing. I struggle. It's such a thin line. It's such a thin line, and it's such a blurred line as well. I don't know where, because like, you can argue that like there's a lot of black comedians that go at white people. I know, like, I feel like they have an argument with Dave Chappelle doing whiteface, but then you understand that Dave Chappelle does whiteface as a response to other comedians doing blackface. So you kind of, it's such a thin line between what's right and funny and what's wrong.
I get what you mean. Yeah,
shouldn't have been done. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
I just kind of like.
It's very. We have to be very careful.
I've just kind of washed my hands with the whole situation in terms of that stuff. I'm kind of like, it is what it is. I don't really have an opinion on it because I don't really know how I feel about it. If that makes sense.
Now, what I'm going to say is, like, especially with like stuff like Little Britain, or okay, not just Little Britain specifically, in general, when I see like stuff like that. So, for example, the white actors doing the Jamaican accents and being funny and playing Taj and them people there. I feel like them characters, in my opinion, were based off some sort of stereotype. For example, the Jamaican shops having nothing in stock is a massive stereotype that is based on some sort of truth. I think for me anyway, I did not see any episodes of Little Britain using the Jamaican accent or using the Indian accent derogatory or negatively. It was all for the purposes of humour. Do you know what I mean?
That's what
do you know what I mean? But obviously some people will still find that offensive regardless. Some people have the mindset of don't even come on that flex, don't business with that. But then I come on the flex of like, do you know what? It's one, it's not negative, it's not cussing, it's not derogatory, and it is based on a humour. It provides entertainment in it. So, like you said, it's a bit of a blurred line, so I ain't got too much of a problem with it personally, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a tricky one. I think what it is, it goes back to black people years and years of just not being able to get through the door, right? So when you've got these two white actors portraying an Asian person, a black woman, do you know what I mean? Like, I think what it is, you're denying them Asian actors or black actors that chance to do that, right? Because we can't even get in, or let alone get the blue tick to say, yeah, our pilot can go ahead. And that's what it is. More and more things are getting like the
Actually,
tick to go,
quickly,
yeah,
Fred. Big up Steve the Madman, who just got his pilot commission by BBC as well.
Yeah. Big up
I
Steve.
mean, that's a big step. Do you know what I mean? Man from Snapchat to getting his show commission on BBC.
Alhan as well. I think he's got a show on BBC coming up as well.
BBC Sounds, he's got a podcast.
There's different things going. Like obviously, Man Like Mobeen on BBC Three, that's been doing well. So
what's the one with Tom in it? What's the one with Tom in it? BBC Three. What's it called? Famalam. Yeah.
Tom Ucci, yeah. That's doing well. So that's what I'm saying. So BBC are, the people things are coming through. But I think we have to be very careful with comedy in it, because it's like people always go about, what about white chicks? Like, I love white chicks here.
Listen, bro. Yeah. And the thing is, the thing is with white chicks,
I loved it as well.
The thing is with white chicks, though, it's not any different to Little Britain in the sense that, like, they're not like, well, if I could argue, if anything, it's kind of more kind of like stereotype jokes about the races in particular comes from that film more so than Little Britain. I kind of found that, like, there was a lot of really funny situations happening to these characters that happened to be certain colours and like the actors weren't per se. But and also the similar thing, the thing that I argue with White Chicks, and that is not like a white face show, is the fact that it's about these people going in disguise and pretending to be someone that they're not.
Exactly.
So it's a very conscious. It's a very conscious decision to go, this character is now playing a character. It's not like I'm now a black person.
That is true, and they still revealed who they were at the end. Again, they were going undercover.
Exactly.
So I love that film anyway. But Little Britain as well, I just think, like you said, we have to be very careful, because we don't want comedy to be a thing where you can't offend. Comedy is meant to offend people. I think you got to do it tastefully. But I think I don't want it to become a thing where you can't say anything in comedy anymore, because it'll be boring.
To top it all off, take away all the race issue within Little Britain, take away all of that. David Radley-Evans and what's his face, Matt Lucas, are just hilarious, great actors and comedians in general. Them man, as people, are just amazing entertainers in it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that alone can not makes it okay or makes it better, but do you know what I mean? It's coming from a place of performance, in it, a place of entertainment where they can portray these characters based through satire and stereotypes in it. Do you know what I mean? To provide entertainment for the people, then really.
Yeah, I think.
And voiceovers give us the same opportunities. That's what we're saying. Give us the same opportunities as everyone else for voice acting, because voice acting is like, if it's a general American accent, if it's a general British accent, it can be portrayed by anybody. Because what I don't want us to do is start saying black people sound a certain way, because that's bullshit. If you're from East London, you sound like you're from East London, right? If you're from South London, vice versa.
Yeah. So at the same time, though, you'll have a general American, but you'll have a general American which will sound different in a black male than a white male. Do you know what I mean? Purely because of intonation, purely because of colloquialisms, purely because of environment. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, someone like Steve the Madman, just sounds, he's got a Cockney accent in it. That's it. Like, that accent is Cockney. It's not, there's no cut.
But I mean, it
doesn't mean it's black.
I hear what you're saying.
There we go. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And it's nothing to do with where he's been growing up in that, because he grew up. I watched the interview. I think he grew up in Enfield. Right,
I think it's Enfield.
But the things like, for example, hearing your parents talk in the house, the friendship group you grew up around. Let's say you go to church with that, or let's say you go to part, like, there's so many environmental factors that will affect the way you talk within your accent, which is why MLE is a thing. Do you know what I mean? MLE is actually a bracket of an accent, because that is, for example, you have standard London English, and then you have MLE, which is multicultural London English, because it's actually different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
it's interesting. I think we kind of all three of us kind of agree the same thing. Is just like, if it's a specific accent that is generically black, I think that what should be happening, at least, is that you should be looking at more black or ethnic actors more in a higher volume than you're looking at these white actors, at least, because you wouldn't, especially if you're not going to consider us for the white roles, you should be looking at us even more so for the roles that are for us. So that I think that's kind of the general thing. What about auditions? I feel like we should. Have you got any like funny audition stories?
Bro, auditions has been interesting, you know. Like, I love it when, for me, in terms of like the topic that we're talking about right now, it's been mainly panto auditions, isn't it? Because you know, like when you go for a panto audition, they have like the hero like a Robin Hood or like an Aladdin or like whatever, Prince Charming, in it.
Yeah.
I mean, and these roles, if you think about it, are in the world, for example, with Disney, and that they're like white animations, in it. And when I go to panto, there's no kind of anything. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't do your role. If you pattern the thing, then that's your job, really. Do you know what I mean?
Jokes auditions.
I'm trying to think. I auditioned for Toxic Avengers. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, putting me up for that show. And obviously, I'm a baritone, so this was like top 10. I'm talking about that. Anyway, so I went for it. For one, I knew it was going to be a bad day because it was on a Saturday. So I went there now, and I had to do you have to do so many roles within. You have to play the devil. You have to do different voice, and so I remember going and starting it because obviously they gave it to us like really last minute. So I had my iPad, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Fred, can you start with obviously this song?" So I already knew I couldn't sing this. So I started singing it, and they were like, "Ooh, maybe we should move on to the next song." I was thinking, well, you ain't gonna hear anything better than that. So, yeah, it carried on.
Bro.
And they were like, thanks very much. You know when you're just not gonna get
like you, yeah. I'm a baritone as well, innit? And in Motown, I was up for the part of the bass temptation in it. So I had a bunch of low songs in my rep, in it, like low, rich, bassy songs in it. And I've been doing Motown auditions for like a couple of months now, so my voice has been comfortable sitting there, innit? And then my agent got me a Mormon audition, right? We all know about Book of Mormon, innit? So then I've gone into the room now. I've got a bass song to sing in it because right now my voice ain't high anyway, ain't it? But I ain't really got any high songs in my rep. So I'm singing a song, and I'm singing it in my bass bit, and then they stopped me and they said, "Okay, cool. Do you mind if we take it up a couple semitones?" And I said,
"What song was this, by the way?"
Us.
What song was it? You got this? What song was it, Rob?
I was singing "Say a Little Prayer" by Aretha Franklin, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but
like down the octave, innit? So I was singing that, and then so that moment I wake up before you put it, all that kind of thing, yeah. And they were like, "Okay, cool. Do you mind just taking up a semitones?" I said,
"This is moment, sir."
I said, "Yeah, sure." Then the guy started it. I was like, "Rah." So, you know, you start constricting, and it gets all tight here, and then your chest is all out, and then feels all tight. I was like, so I did a verse and a chorus. Did a verse and a chorus. Yeah, the lady on the panel was like, "Thank you so much. We'll be in touch." And I just really said, "No, you won't." I said, "No, you won't." Like, what? And I know you got to be nice and polite and, you know, courtesy and that, but don't gas me in it. Like, I wouldn't be in touch with me after that. No way. No way. No way.
Oh shit! But my worst audition. I've had so many howlers. All right, I'll tell you one where I've just been an idiot. Yeah. So I've gone into Bat Out of Hell. Like you guys, I'm a baritone, but I can kind of sing quite high sometimes when I feel good. When I feel good.
Anthony's a baritone. I think as a tenor, man, think Marvin Gaye.
I'm not a tenor in my. Never a tenor in my life, bro. I'm a tenor once I get used to singing it. Once I get used to singing it, I'm a tenor. But I've walked in there now, and I'm not really like, I wasn't really feeling the audition anyway. So I kind of went, here's what it is. Like, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I'm just gonna laugh it off, whatever. And I was singing. Obviously, it's a rock musical, so I think I brought Phil Collins. Take a Look at Me Now. That's not the name of the words. The name of the song.
Big tune. No, it is.
But
Against All Odds. Against All Odds.
Yeah, Against All Odds.
Yeah.
Big tune. I love that song. And bro, when I tell you, I used to sing that song all the time, bro. So I wasn't even worried about it sounding shit. I was just like, in my head, I knew I'm gonna sing it. They're probably not gonna want me for it because they're not really my style. But like, I'm just gonna sing it. Whatever. Cool. When I say I got to the second line and I cracked, bro. So the song goes, How could I let
How
you
can
walk
you
away?
walk away?
Let me leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath of you. I went, when I stand here taking every breath. And I went, when I stand here, nope. Let's start that again. And they were like laughing. We were all laughing. I was like, how you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Me, because you know what I'm like, I'll just make a joke out of anything. I was like, I didn't know if you wanted to hear my top note or anything, so I was just trying to throw it in there.
Yeah. So I had an audition for Evita, which is meant to be at the open air theatre, innit? Dance school.
Oh yeah,
Steve,
yeah.
Whenever I get a dance call, where's my camera? Whenever I get a dance call before a school, I know it's a long day, innit? I just know it's a long day. Get into the room now, yeah. I'm seeing people that I know from Erdan, I'm from Bird, I'm from Lace, I'm thinking, cool. So I've got dancers. Like I can say I can dance, but you know you got dancers in the room.
Yeah. Dancers.
Do you know what I mean? Like all them man there. So
seven of them.
You know what I mean? We start the choreo now, yeah. The guy at the front teaching the choreo, and I'm just there like, okay, cool. You know what? I see my competition. I know my ability. Let's just have a good time, right? That's my mentality. You know what I mean? Their mentality is there. So let's just have a good time. Then you split you into your groups to film for whichever producer, whatever. So we're in the four, the formation, and that camera's at the front. They're filming that now, and there's like a what move was it? It was like a barrel turn into you get up, then you do a pirouette or something. And I know I ain't got tech like that. I just know. And the thing about splitting into four years, like everyone else is on the side watching. And it was a mixed audition, so there's girls and boys. And I'm just thinking, oh God, why? Pineapple as well. Pineapple's bait as well. You might not even be at the audition when you see something you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So flipping, I'm doing the thing now. I've done it and turned. I've fallen out my pirouette on my bumper ass, like just finished, done out. And then I sat there like this. I sat for like a good 4 seconds, but then man continued. I just joined in the end. I hit the end post. Like this.
Man, sat down. Okay.
Like that.
I'm going to give a tip for any budding actors, yeah? Anyone who wants to be an actor in the future, we'll talk about auditions, yeah? Let me give you a little life lesson, yeah? Always help people, but don't help them too much, yeah? And I'll tell you why, yeah? Listen, yeah, it's real. I'm looking at the camera the whole time, and I'll tell you why. Because it's deeper than deep. It's always nice to be a nice person, but don't be too nice so it fucks up your money, bro. I fucked up my money one time. So, I'm in semi-finals for Frozen, yeah? I'm in semi-finals for Frozen, and I'm feeling good about it, bro. And I tell you, I'm feeling good about it. So, we're doing this partner work here, and when I said, I don't want to toot my own horn, but beep, beep, partner work is my thing, bro. Partner work, I love partner work. I love it. I love doing lifts and stuff.
I said beep, beep.
Bro, at school, the people used to be like, oh, I want to work with Shaq because Shaq won't drop me. I'd rather you fall on me and block my life up than hurt someone, because that's just the way I am in terms of lifting and stuff. So it was partner work, but my group had an extra boy because we have more boys and girls, yeah. So I'm doing the lifts, it's all easy, whatever. They're all watching me like, oh yeah, well done, like, doing the learning bit. And the other guy can't do it, so I go, let me just give him my hand and just teach him how to little tips to help him do it. Cool. Teach them this. I'll just try put that there, and like when you lift there, just use your legs. Oh, cool. Thanks, man. So we get to doing it now, and we're about to do it in front of the panel, and they go, okay, first groups come out. First up, players come out, and they come out now, and he goes, do you want to go first? He goes, nah, man, you go first. Just like, remember everything I was saying, like, you'll be fine, mate. You'll be sick. And he's like, oh, wow, I'm bare nervous still. I was like, don't worry, bro. You got this. I know you got this. Goes on, does it, yeah. Does the lift. He does really, really good. And they go, all right, guys, that's all then. Thank you, bye. Bro, I didn't even get to do none of the lifts, bro. I didn't get to do a lift, bro. And guess who got the job, bro? Don't piss me off, bro. Piss me off, bro. My man got the job.
Oh my days. So
yeah, any budding actors, make sure you're helpful, but don't help too much. Give them maybe a bit of advice. Maybe give them a good tip and a bad tip. Like, oh yeah, when you're lifting, make sure you do that way, but thump it on the way up as well. That'll go They're not wrong with sabotage. Just a little bit of sabotage.
I hate them auditions.
Oh my days, bruv. Oh my days. I had a guy, yeah. Actually, Shaq, you were in this with me. Our Lion King dance call.
Oh yeah.
And one brother came
Lion King call.
One brother came in late, innit? And you know when you're already in an audition and someone comes in late, everyone looks at them like, ooh. You can So my brother's coming late. Yeah, I'm thinking, bro, this is a whole Lion King, bro. Why are you late, for idiot? What are you doing? I mean, so anyway, but I'm trying to concentrate on my thing. Yeah, my man coming late. Yeah, and then they've done the cuts. We performed it, done the whatever. And then they're gonna read out the list of names, who's staying and who's cutting in it. So I'm here. And my man stays, and I was like, wait, hold on a minute. My man came late. Yeah, you told me you cut the whole choreo better than I patterned it. What? What? No way. I was fuming. But I was like, no, surely, what I think it is, I think he knows my man's cousin and sister brethren, because there's no way that's possible. No way.
That's the one. You ever been to audition and you see the dance, you see the choreographer come in like, oh, how you doing, babe? How are you? You all right? Yeah, you all right, darling? Yeah, it's really good to see you.
That's my most time experience.
We're watching you.
Calm down.
I hate that one.
That's my most time experience, bro.
But you know what? I can't lie. In a lot of cases where I've been in situations like that, where I've gone into Avita was another one as well. I went into Avita and the choreographer knew a lot of the auditionees from whatever reason. Maybe you taught like workshops or taught at their school or whatever. But they knew each other. And then what a lot of, I don't think people on the panel know what that does to people in the audition room. Like when you go and hug up 3 people and make it very clear in front of other auditionees that you know them personally. Yeah. Maybe I ain't got the strongest mindset, but what that does to me, it automatically puts me in the place of, all right, cool, well.
That's one less space, yeah, that's one less space. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
I get you.
And I feel like a lot of people don't deep that in it. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with maybe shout them afterwards or, like, give them a quick acknowledgement that you know that they're in the room. But what that does to other auditionees, especially graduates coming into the industry, you've got a dance school and you're there hugging up 3-4 men and like, making it very clear, giving them extra attention, making sure they know what's good. I'm really there thinking that, what's the point?
As much as it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of disheartening and like you don't want to see it. But this is a prime example of what happens when people are consistent when they work, and it does show like that's what a good work ethic will get you. If it's not like a kind of like a fancy like, oh, we fancy each other kind of relationship or whatever. That just goes to show that person is someone who works their arse off, and they get the job because they're dependable. And like, I don't know, it's really tricky for actors who, like, especially grads who haven't really worked before, to try to get into that position without
hard.
They'll get there. I think that's what people to not be disheartened. They'll get there because everyone, like you said, even though I'd been in it for a while, I only really started auditioning for proper being in the room maybe in the last like 4 years. If you think about it, I mean, I'm 28 now. So really, I'm still fairly new in the world of audition. I just happen to know a lot of people because of training and just doing it a bit here and there. But like you said, you see the clicking, but I don't care. Like, anyway, I'm proof that you'll get there. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, you just got to do you. I will never ask Nick an audition. I don't care if I don't know who you are. I'm coming to audition for your show. I will get to know who you are. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's it. I'm not going to cast. If I get there and I see someone, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm not going to do chit chat because I'm just here. I want to work at the end of the day. I mean, me knowing you ain't going to get me the job.
I don't rate you until you give me until we're working together. I can't rate you as I don't know you from anyone, bruv. I will respect you as a person, but other than that, I'm not gonna. I'll refuse to kiss ass. Like, I will not do that. I will not do anything. I won't do anything I don't want to do just because I feel like there needs to be I think actors need to have sometimes they need a bit more self-respect for, like, instead of being like walked all over. And that's just going to be my whole mindset, because if you give me the job, I'm going to work my ass off. If I don't feel comfortable in doing something, I'm just not going to want to do it. Unless it's vital to something, you're going to struggle getting me to do this thing. Maybe that's why I needed to do this kind of stuff where we can be creative and not have anyone tell me what we can do. But like, it's just this kind of, the way I see it is just like respect is earned and not just given because they've done this and this and this and this and this. Yeah. So yeah, it's
I think, like, for graduates especially, like Fred said, your chance will come in it. Like, I always believe in that everyone's going to get their chance. And for me, when I came out, like, before Motown, but the people I knew in the industry was my best friend who was at Bird and the people that were in my class. And that was it. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know nobody like that. Do you know what I mean? And I remember being like in the audition for the Bodyguard for Vienna. And the mixed call with boys and girls and all the dance call. And I just remember seeing all these, because you hear of people before you see them. For example, Shaq was a perfect example of that. I'd heard of Shaq so much before I'd met him. because of being in Hairspray and, do you know what I mean, and all those kind of things there. So it was like, that does put you in a certain mindset. But like, if you work hard not just graduates, but mainly for graduates, if you work hard and you, like you said, respect yourself and put your everything into that audition, it may not be the first one, it may not be the second one, but when that chance does come, you're gonna get the job in it, like regardless of who you know and who you're hugging up in every minute. I mean,
I think it's
and
you're right.
People that make people feel bad. I will set a very good example. Then people there's certain people, and I will say my last job that I did, also I did King of Weeks, and luckily I had a really good cast. But there were certain people in that show that made you feel, from like the rehearsal day one, that made you feel like you ain't nothing because you ain't worked. You ain't nothing because you ain't done this. And that
graduate patronizing, isn't it?
That could be quite that could be quite intimidating for people. Do you know what I mean? Luckily, I'm a strong guy, so I was there to do what I got to do at the end of the day.
You got to know your worth, innit? Like you said, luckily for me, I was a strong person in it, and like I said, on Motown, I would say like about 65 to 70% of the time, I was a sponge, soaking up the experience and the etiquette and the knowledge from the older actors. But at the same time, I wasn't going to be patronised and spoken to because I was a graduate. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't going to be looked at a type of way because I hadn't worked before. So, like you said, knowing your worth, knowing that I am on this job for a reason. I did the same amount of rounds, maybe not have waited the same amount of time, but I've done the same amount of rounds, and I'm here deservingly just as much as you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I think, but I do think it goes both ways as well, because I do remember in Motown for at least like the early stages of it, and like I love that whole cast. Like I have big love for everyone in that cast, but I do remember that feeling of like, because there was a lot of people that it was their first jobs. It kind of felt like they'd gone, well, shit, we done made it, and that was it now, and you couldn't tell them shit from then on. There was a lot of people like that. Yeah. So I think it's what is important when you're an actor, especially in the theatre, is that you have a really strong work ethic. You respect other people and their opinions, but also you what was I going to say? And you're fucking consistent. I think you cannot walk around with this kind of feeling that you've made it and you're not being consistent on stage 8 shows a week. There's being ill, yeah, fine, take the day off, or you're injured, fine, whatever, you come off an injury. But in terms of like actual effort that you put onto the stage, that has to be at 100% in terms of like, that's my physical. I think it's like, especially when you're dancing or doing like a movement performance, I think the energy should go 80% energy in terms of physicality, and then that extra 20% is like strong vocals, like not just singing, like strong vocals, like sing your ass off. And I just felt like, and that's not just to shout shit on Motown, because I loved it, but there was a point in the show where we had to get taken to side and spoken about, like, we need more consistency from us. That's the thing. I think like consistency is for me is the biggest thing in terms of being a theatre actor. It's just the fact that like you need to be able to do this 8 shows a week, and not just because, oh, I feel a bit tired today. It doesn't matter. The audience didn't pay fucking 100 quid, probably 100 odd quid to come and see you, for you to be like, oh, to be honest, I put all my heart out yesterday, so I can't give you the same amount I gave you.
And you know what? That goes back to what you were saying about knowing your self-worth and not just accepting any job. Because if you know you've got to do something 100% 8 shows a week, that's a lot easier when you flip and enjoy what you do. If I was in a show that I wasn't enjoying, it would have been a lot harder to give up like 100% extra a week. I mean,
and all the politics that happen backstage. Sorry, all the politics that happen backstage and stuff, it doesn't matter, because you're with this group of people where the mindset's the same, where it's a collective thing. So anything that happens in terms of like, oh, the producers have said this, or the creative said this, like as a cast, we were able to kind of go, it doesn't, like, that doesn't matter once we hit the stage. We have to go on and do a job. And I think that's so important.
And my thing is as well, like with the ensemble as well, ensemble need respect. Like when I looked at, I don't know if you guys watch Hamilton. Oh, that was just, I haven't watched I watched the Disney Plus for the first time, and that was hard. And them ensemble, they are not leaving that stage. They are going a ham, yeah? And I just think to myself, like, ensemble don't get enough respect, don't get enough wage. And I take it back to certain shows I've done or whatever, or people that I've heard that their experiences, and and just like the way you are treated, like, you know, the leads just get like that love in it, you know, they just get that love, and someone just kind of, you're just there, and I think that more respect needs to be given, because look at Hamilton, they are going ham.
Bro,
yeah?
that happened, yeah.
Also swings need respect.
But sorry to interrupt, yeah. But like on Motown, so whenever we finish the show, in particular cities, you have people that watch the show, fans of the show outside the stage door. So they come to the back of the theatre with a program and a little pen, ask you to sign it in it. And I wasn't a lead in it. I would say I was like a featured ensemble or whatever you want to call it. I was in the show regardless, innit? So you're outside stage door and you've got one auntie or whatever, like one lady come with her program and that saying, firstly, you can't tell who I was in the show because we've all got wigs and we're all black and apparently we all look the same. But anyway, who are you in the show? I was like, I was one of the Temptations and I played one of the Miracles. And she's looking, she's like, okay, cool, so you're not Smokey, you're not Marvin, Gary. Okay, cool, thank you. Do you know when Marvin's coming out, by the way? I'm like, nah, I don't.
Bro, let me tell you something now. They're awful. Some fans are big up the King of It's fan, because they were some of the best fans ever, yeah? So, but them people that DM me on Twitter, listen, have a look in the mirror. We had a woman called Paula Lane who was on holiday. She was in Coronation Street for a couple of years, I think 5 years. And she was playing Lauren in Kinky Boots. And I got people DMing me on Twitter saying, I'll make this cardboard, I'll make this like painting of you if you can get Paula Lane to follow us. And I said, listen, go on, message Paula Lane, innit? Don't bro. Like that.
That happened to me.
Were you Lola? Do what? Listen. The amount of things I got, like, honestly, it bothered me. But some people just need to open their eyes, stop being ignorant, man.
Yeah, people are disrespectful as well. Fans are disrespectful if they're a fan of a specific person, bro. Now, I used to room with Nathan, who's in the first episode, yeah? The amount of times that I used to get DMs from little teenage X Factor gal fans going, oh my God, could you get Nathan to follow me back, please? No!
It got to the point, yeah, I remember
he was smoky, innit?
He was smoky. We were in Bristol, yeah, and I remember Shaq's come out in front of me, innit? He's come out not long in front of me. I'm talking like maybe a couple of seconds out in front of me, innit? I don't know whether the lady was on her phone or whatever, but she hadn't clocked him go past her, innit? So I've come out now. She's like, oh my God, were you Marvin Gaye? And Shaq's in front of me, and I've looked at him. He's walking with Emma. I've looked at him. I've looked at the lady. Looked at Shaq, and I was like, yeah. I was She's like, oh my God, can we get a photo? I was like, yeah, can we get a photo? Mum got a photo with the mumsy and the daughter, signed the team. I was like, peace and love, have a good evening, people.
You have to do it. It's not getting annoyed. You have to do it. It happens. Like, you know, obviously, King was played by obviously a man, so obviously in drag.
Yeah.
There was a girl. I think my friend Scarlett. We finished the show in Manchester, yeah, our opening night, and she came out on stage. Though we're now walking to our press drinks now, and some guy comes and says, "Lola." I'm cracking up, and she's like, I didn't play Lola. Because nah, you're joking, right? You were Lola. She was like, no, Lola was played by a man. She's like, no, but you were Lola. Not only is my friend that did it, Kai Yuche, he's like 6 foot plus, yeah. Scarlett's like 5 foot something, if that. Like, how can you? It's just the ignorance. Like they truly.
You know what's funniest about that? Yeah, is that she said no, and Mum went, no, you are though, aren't you?
No, but you are.
You're lying.